I know you're gone. I lit your pyre, I'll never forget that. But I failed you, again. I couldn't bring him back to what's left of our cabin. I should never have left you two alone. I should never have followed those voices. They wooed me to stop. Screams. Shouting. Howling. But nothing, not a trace, not a path, not a sign of life in the snow. What? Oh right. No, I didn't go outside right away. I couldn't sleep, but I waited for the first light in the sky before leaving. Like you always told me, I believe you, but please don't run in the dark of the night alone in some god-forsaken part of the woods again. Maybe you should have told me I was crazy, I would have believed you. Yes, I would have, I always believed you. I grabbed my rifle and walked the perimeter of the cabin, as always. And, as always, found nothing. An unusual silence surrounded me. You always liked the chirping. It was the only thing that would stop the little one from crying. Find him, please. I looked around but saw nothing moving, only a faint glint through the thick branches. As I was searching for the source, I slipped into a massive print in the snow. The sign I needed. A trace of something else alive out there. But they ended abruptly at the edge of a cliff, like whatever made them jump down below. And then I saw it. Smoke rising from the green sea of trees below. Who's there? I felt you. I already felt you before. No, I didn't jump down. I wasn't already that mad. While I climbed down that stony cliff, I saw what looked like claw marks, deep claw marks. Once I reached the ground, I followed the trace again, although the print started to look different, wrong. The tracks also changed. Whatever I was following had knocked down some branches. I think it was in pain and it needed support from the trees. Not long after, I reached the source of the smoke. Another one wouldn't hurt. Helps me think better. I think. A can. Or what was left of one. Tents completely torn apart, blood still sinking into the deep snow and burn marks all around, but none around the campfire. I put it out before the fire could spread. For the first time, the voices talked while the sun was still up. They were coming from the same direction the limping beast had gone. I had to follow it now. After what it did here, I couldn't let it come near you. If only I'd known, would have run back home. I'm sorry. A blizzard started. My body felt as cold as ice, but I kept going. Something must have heard my grunts of pain. In front of me was a small opening in a never-ending mountain face. A cave that I've never found before. Somehow it felt familiar, but also wrong, terribly wrong, like it shouldn't exist. I was standing in a blizzard and I couldn't hear anything. No noises around me, nothing, just silence. All I could see was the darkness of that cave. All I could feel was fear, but not for my life. It felt like my senses were slowly dying. I have no idea how long I stared at the dim entrance, waiting for that thing to come out. Ready to empty my whole rifle into it. After waiting for what seemed like an eternity, I finally decided to enter. As I stepped in, my senses were immediately overwhelmed. Everything I used to hear faintly outside the cabin was shouting at me, all at once. I felt like I was drowning in the smell of something rotten. I couldn't see anything, not even my own hands. I turned on my pocket lantern, but it was useless. The darkness was too thick. I moved on. I kept one hand stuck to the wall and the other in front of my face, slowly crawling, hoping to find the right way. The more I walked, the colder I felt. There was no wind, but I felt like something was blowing cold air on my neck, never stopping. The cave seemed endless, it just kept going. What? Of course, I'm sure I wasn't moving in a big circle. The stone always felt new. I said, "Who's there? Answer me at once. This is my home. Answer me." Yes, I did fill my lantern up. It wasn't empty. The screams got louder with every step, but I didn't budge for a second. Until I started to feel something wet and sticky running along the stone wall. As a reflex, I turned around and crawled away faster, but my hand felt something in front of me. Wood. Whole logs were blocking my way, like a wall of a house. Compact, unmovable. The way back was gone. I had to keep going. I felt the watery substance again, but too soon. Even if the rocks felt the same, it was too early. I couldn't have walked back all the way already. But no matter, I had to move on. I've never felt this cold and it just kept getting worse. I started to lose feeling in my limbs. My legs were shaking. I was too tired to keep my arm up in front of my face, so I leaned against the wall and continued to follow it, not caring about the stones cutting through my coat. The substance started to engulf me, like I was part of the wall. As I felt the rocks on both of my shoulders, I realized that the cave was getting smaller. It hurt, but walking became easier and my legs were getting better. Was something helping me move? You think I'm that weak? I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. So loud, so angry, so incomprehensible, yet familiar. I was beginning to feel safe in the screams. Even if I walked slowly, I hit my head on a rock and the substance started to flow over my face. I didn't swallow it, but that iron taste wouldn't leave my mouth alone. From crouching to crawling, nothing could have stopped me. I needed to end that beast. You're right. How did I not think of this? How could it fit? What was once a corridor became a tunnel. The stones rose through the ground, like the hands of a loved one, keeping me safe from harm, not wanting to let me go. Finally I could see something, a faraway light, just at the end of the tunnel. I was moving as fast as I could, but it was so far. The substance started to overflow the tunnel. I thought I was going to drown, but it pushed me towards the end. The heavy flow spat me out of the tunnel into an open area, still inside the cave. Sunlight bathed me. I could finally see again. My beloved screams were gone. I laid there for a bit, getting to know the silence back. But my ears were tricking me. There was no silence. It didn't take me long to realize that I finally reached my destination. I was in its feeding grounds, its home. It was there, on the floor, feeding on the remains of some poor souls. Steaming hot blood poured from its wounds, flowing everywhere. I didn't want to look at my hands, but I know now like I knew back then. I was covered in it. I tasted it. And maybe it was that was masking my scent. As I stood there, frozen in place, scared of making any more sounds, I kept looking at it. Its bones seemed to hate its body, as if they were trying to escape it, poking through its skin, or what remained of it. Its size was wrong, only the muscles managed to grow with it. It wasn't just feeding, it was trying so desperately to cover its body with the skin of its food, like it wanted to look human again. Yes, a soul was still in TH, it hurt me. I saw more teeth in that mouth that pretended to be human than in my whole life. It screamed and cried so loudly and so suddenly that I lost my balance. What an awful sound that was. It made my ears bleed. It began to crawl towards me, like it had forgotten how its legs worked, trying to reach me with its arms at every step. I tried to aim at its head with my rifle, but the vertigo wouldn't leave me alone, so I waited. It sank its bone claws into my left leg. I managed to not lose my aim. I've never felt so relieved to hear a bullet ricochet. But it wasn't done with me yet. Even with its head completely busted open, it still wanted to traumatize me, as he slowly and faintly muttered, "Thank you." I threw my lantern at the body to free his soul from this monster. Told you I filled it up before leaving. It needed to be done, you would have done the same. The voices came back, softer, kinder.